Hope everybody had a fantastic weekend. We are going to get into a lot of different articles today and a lot of different subjects in real estate. One of them, and the most important one, is rents. We keep seeing more and more articles on rents. I want to go over that today, as well as some more housing data and the big joke here in California, our governor and what he's now proposing last week. And again, we'll get into that, as well as interest rates on Real Estate Daily. Welcome everyone. My name is Troy, and Monday through Saturday we go over the latest in real estate, mortgage, and the housing market. Before we jump into it, please let's go hit that subscribe button. Want to grow this audience. We keep growing it pretty quickly, but we're just not getting where we want to go. I want to be able to give 5 to 10 minutes of your time on a daily basis to go over what's actually happening in real estate, what is important to you and to everybody. Now, if you like the content, please hit the like button. Otherwise, let's just jump right into it. CNBC, and this was a Saturday article that I read here. It says the rent crisis on Main Street just took a turn for the worse. I keep saying this over and over. I don't think people really can inhale it. The CPI numbers that come out, the biggest portion of it, 33%, is on housing, but they do surveys. They don't take real numbers. The Fed does a survey. Now, you got to scratch your head and say, you're not looking at real numbers. You're not looking at real rental numbers. You're not looking at real housing numbers. You're taking surveys from people off the street. Well, that's why part of this is just a joke. It's not real. And what we're really seeing here is a rental crisis. There's the homeless population continues to grow because rents keep going up and up and up. One of those problems why rents keep going up is because houses being built. And the government has not put any pressure or subsidies onto new home builders. New home builders are only here for one reason, is to make profit. I can't keep saying that over and over. If it's the state of California who wants to beat their chest, or the federal government who all they do is want to go over, well, what, that the underserved don't actually get homes, or it's hard to get homes. Guys, it's hard to get homes because we don't have enough homes. If we had plenty of homes, everybody, even people that are on the fringe of qualifying, would be able to get a home, but we just don't have it. If Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac keep coming out, and National Association of Realtors, or NAR, and say we're 500 or 5 million homes short, doesn't the government understand that if you take 100 people and they're fighting over a home, it's the underserved is not going to be on a priority list. They're just not. It's whoever is qualified the most. And if it could be any nationality, any gender, it doesn't matter. Please understand that. If you're not going to help people out, instead of spending billions of dollars, giving it to, HUD and giving it to the SEC, $2.5 billion with the SEC is ridiculous. Why aren't we subsidizing new home builders coming in and building tracts of homes in suburbs in which are more affordable to people, so we can get this affordability down? It trickles down. If you build more homes, you have more people owning homes. If you have more people owning homes, you have less renters. Less renters means less rentals, right? That are out there. Less rentals means that, or more rentals mean that there's more people that can rent and less people on the streets. Let's put it to fruition here. Let's stop this madness of figuring out who's getting a house and who's not getting a house. Let's build more homes and get past this crisis. Next article. Housing market's in a recession. What it means for home buyers. And it's kind of funny that it says this. I kind of like this particular article here. If we go down, and it talks about being in us being in a recession, which I continue to say that the home, even though we're the first that the Fed, when they raise rates, we're collateral damage is the mortgage market, which then it trickles right down to the sales. But really, if you look at this article, it says read more here, and it says 30-year fixed rates jumped to 5.55, highest since June. Well, in June it went almost to 6, so 5.55 isn't bad. But it says why home prices aren't dropping. And if they're not dropping, how much of a recession really in? Year over year, we're still over 15% higher than it was the year before. So until we come down to sales being, or values of homes being the same of someone that purchased today, that someone purchased in August of 2021, we're just not in a recession at this point. We're just simply not. It says, and then the next part here, it goes rents. Rents are climbing fast. And, you know, how much more could they rise? They keep going up. Why? There's just not enough rentals out there. It's supply and demand. People are going to homeless shelters, or they're just piling into, into the same home. You have more people living in house per capita, which means that that's where you can afford to have a higher rent because there's more people living in it. We have to understand this, and this is why these articles here, just on the surface here in Barron's, says we're in a recession, but they really don't have the numbers to back it up, right? Next article. Blackstone single-family landlord to halt home buying in 38 cities. Why are they halting? It says, we are pausing in markets that represent less than 5% of our recent activity. Well, there's two reasons why. There's a lot of people, and this is from the Orange County Register, there's a lot of people that are celebrating Blackstone slowing down. But in reality, they're slowing it down not because the housing market the houses are going higher. That's not really the reason why. Because when they buy a house and it goes higher, they're actually benefiting from that. And they're benefiting because when the housing market goes up, that means rents go up. And if rents go up, then they benefit from it. There's two reasons why that this is happening. Number one, in markets where they have hardly any properties, to find quality property management is a complete nightmare. And it's been a nightmare. When I go to the mortgage conferences that are out there, this is what is being discussed all the time, is finding large scale home property management companies. They're just not there. And when they do find them, they just are so thin that it's hurting Blackstone and a bunch of other companies out there. It just hurts them because they can't get renters in fast enough. They can't, properties sit vacant because they don't have, crews that can fix it back up and then put it right back on the market. So that's one part. The number two issue here is that buying in markets in which they have small representations is that those markets aren't rising fast enough in rents for them to actually put their money towards. They'd rather go put into major markets such as Phoenix market, right, which continues to bring in more and more people, or Salt Lake City or Atlanta. Those where people are crowding into. Yes, some generations were leaving. Actually, some people were leaving in the last 2 or 3 years because they were able to work off-site. But that's now slowly being retracted all the way back, where now people that were renting there, the rents continue because they have to go into work, and they have to actually go into work. So Blackstone is now struggling. So they're slowing down purchasing, in certain markets. In other markets, of course, they're blowing up in, and they just came out saying they have a $50 billion fund for the next 12 to 24 months to buy houses. $50 billion, guys. They're buying a lot of homes, a lot of tract homes. Next article. Oh, this is the article which I call, and you see them once every month or so. And we're going to see a lot more coming up here in the next month or two. It is, what can the governor say to get more votes? And this is exactly what he doesn't care about housing. He's never cared about housing. Right? He's never come up. He only cares about people that are going to vote for him. So with the housing crisis he's had ever since he's been elected, he's done nothing towards it. Zero, zilch. They did pass a law several years ago where you can actually build another dwelling on your property. Now, if you build another dwelling on your property, what are you doing? You're either moving in a relative and you're renting it out. You're not buying, you're not selling that property. You're not subdividing it any further because local laws won't allow you to do it. So now it says California rolls out a daring new housing policy to combat high home prices and increase supply. Bill, it's actually subdividing even further on your property to then go ahead and build on it and then sell the home itself. I just don't see this happening. Again, why are we talking about it now? This housing crisis here in California has been going on now for 10 years. He rolled into the housing crisis. He'll roll out of it. More people continue to leave California than come in California. Why? It's just run so poorly. It's so, the tax rate here is the highest in the country. Gas tax is the highest. property taxes are almost the highest. You're talking about state sales tax is the highest. Guys, why doesn't he attack those things? No, he's part of the problem. He keeps raising the taxes. He keeps signing bills that raise taxes. Why now take your property and subdivide it? Because now he's going to get more tax money. It doesn't really make sense. And again, it's another poor attempt for, the governor to get more votes. Come on. Why is he he's not going to hand out STEMI checks, to every Californian. Why? Because he overtaxed them. Where's he getting the money from? From an oversupply of money in the tax bill, the budget. He just overtaxes us and then frivolously gives it back to us. It's such a pain point for most Californians. That's why the majority of people that I am that are selling their homes right now, that I'm selling their homes, they leave the state. They're gone. Hasta la vista, baby. They don't want nothing to do with it. It's the cost of living here is out of control in Southern California. Actually, probably the entire state it is. If we want to go one step further and prove my point, House of Representatives, the amount of representatives in the state of California decreased after the census in 2020. It just shows people are continuing to move out of this state. Guys, let's go to the next article. And let's kind of wrap it up here with interest rates. 5.7. So in conventional, we saw it drop a little bit, 3 basis points. These are nationwide numbers, by the way. They're not here in Southern California. 30-year fix went down another 3 basis points to 5.5. But what we're seeing is this big jump in jumbo. Jumbo used to be, jumbo's just going up and up and up. I think that more companies are a little less in the risk factor with loans that are exceeding 800,000. And so we continually see that this is happening here. 30-year jumbo keeps jumping up. So it's getting kind of scary. It's kind of funny that we hadn't seen 30-year jumbo come close to 30-year FHA, but now it's exceeded it. That's kind of crazy that that's happened, but we're just seeing it. They just don't want to put themselves into risk, and who knows what's coming up in the future. I know, my predictions, which I've gone over on, What's a Mortgage. I go live on there every Tuesday at 9 p.m. On their channel on Instagram. I've made my predictions over there. I will then this week. On Saturday, I'll have my opinion piece. I'm going to go over my predictions for the fourth quarter. And kind of go over even month by month because we have an election year, and I think things are going to be significantly changing between the election date, with I believe is November 4th or 6th, something like there, and then after it's gonna be something significantly different. Guys, thank you very much for joining me. Again, if you have any comments, please leave them below. Otherwise, check us out on our other social media platforms, Instagram, TikTok, which I'm actually live on TikTok right now, as well as Facebook. Check us out on those. Guys, take care, and I will see you tomorrow.